Good morning. Monday, August 10th, here in Brantford, Ontario. Sorry, I'll have to put in a bit of personal background why I'm here. The point of the story is COVID at the Brampton Hospital. Yes, Brampton General Hospital. Yesterday, I was at the Brantford Hospital because my eldest brother, excuse me, went into palliative care. So he goes in the ambulance. I won't give you any more details than that. It's not pertinent to the story, other than why I'm at the hospital with my sister. So he's gone in the ambulance. My sister and I go in the main entrance, where there's also a Tim Hortons right there inside the hospital. Sister's aware of that. She wants a coffee, and then we'll proceed with whatever procedures we're going to proceed with. Again, excuse me. So, we're greeted at the door by a young lady who's garbed head to toe in a clear plastic rain suit. She has plastic disposable gloves on and one of these useless contraptions. And she, so what are you doing here? Well, this is what we're doing here. We explain it. She's like, just a minute. She proceeds further into a desk where another individual, garbed the same, comes out. And at this point, let me explain, these are not healthcare professionals. They're not trained in the healthcare field at all. They're temp hirelings brought in off the street to act as security, if you will. So the second girl comes out, Gestapo Gertie. What do you want? You can't be here, blah, blah, blah. So, well, my sister's still like, I'd like a coffee. No, the public can't go there. Only staff and COVID patients. No, she didn't say COVID patients. She said only staff and patients can go there. Okay, so where do we go? Go in the emergency exit. Okay. As we're going out, the initial girl kind of tags along behind us and says, in a subtle voice, so that Gestapo Gertie doesn't hear, she says, hey, once you're inside, you can get a coffee. Thanks, honey. Appreciate the tip. It's only like 100 feet over to the emergency, where we're greeted again by a non-medical individual. And I should say that all three of these individuals don't have good English. I'll leave it at that. Making communication a little bit trying, a bit exasperating. This guy, well, you can't come in here. So, I'm wearing a mask, but he hands me a new one, which I foolishly accept. I should have said, I got my own, thanks, but it's a bit stressful when we're trying to smooth the waters and, make things work with their policies as such. This guy, again, he's garbed in the clear plastic rain suit and the whole bit. No, only one of you can come in. Okay, that'll be me. I accept the mask he gives me. Dude reads me the riot act. Yeah, whatever, pal. See ya. In I go. Where, now it's the emergency waiting room, right? I don't wait long. I go up. Big glass shield, little speaker thing. You gotta, blah, 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 blah. Lucked out, got a beautiful, caring individual there. She said, I'll look right into that for you. I'll, find out where your brother is at this stage, what's happening, if they do have a bed for him, etc. So, the waiting room, everything's taped off. You gotta be 6 feet apart. Like the virus doesn't float on a dust mote more than 6 feet. However, I sit down. Mercifully, the girl is back very briefly, very both professional and personally caring. Explained clearly, concisely, and I expressed I was appreciative of her, personally acting upon this, not just saying, I'll sit down and I'll get somebody, blah, blah, blah. No, I thanked her and was back outside before, my sister's sitting on the curb with all the hospital staff who smokes, because that's what they do. They go out and sit on the curb in a herd and smoke, as I am. So, we decide to wander down the street, see if we can find the coffee. And the hospital phones, quick as that. They want some information. And our concern, we're asking, is visitation. What's the procedure with that due to the COVID pandemic? Fellow informs us it's open 24/7 for visitation. The only restriction being there can only be 2 people in the room, visitors 2 people at a time. But that can revolve. It can be any 2. There are no restrictions on the total number, shall we say. Lengthy communique to get all that straightened out. Okay, so off we go as my brother's being, tested and shunted around before he, is going to come to rest in a bed somewhere in palliative care. So, okay, we go home. Where some more phone communication. By this time, he is in palliative care, and they have a whole different set of rules from what we were initially told. And my sister's talking with this gal on the phone from the hospital, and she's like, well, we were told a whole different set of things not an hour ago. Oh, I'll go check, she says. She comes back. Oh, yes, indeed, I was mistaken. And she has to go back a half a dozen times. Where she goes back to, I don't know. But an hour later, a phone time, indeed the initial information we'd been giving as regarding visitation was indeed correct. So as you can see, there's a bit of evolving going on there, and certainly some confusion within the hospital itself as regards policy. So, I'm going to stop this video, and I'm going to come back with a part 2, because there will be several parts to this. So, okay, I'll be back.